What if Muzan won the final battle? Have you ever wondered what would happen if Muzan emerged victorious? What would he do next? And would there be anyone left to oppose him? The answers might surprise you and aren't quite what you'd expect. Let's explore the ways Muzan could have potentially won. He made a total of 4 significant blunders that cost him his victory, with 2 of these errors occurring within mere minutes of each other. For instance, in the first season of the anime, Muzan had an opportunity to win when he encountered Tanjiro in Tokyo. At that time, Tanjiro was a fledgling demon slayer with little experience and skill. He was weak and would have been no match for the Demon King with his current abilities. In fact, he had a tough time battling a swamp demon just an episode prior. Muzan could have effortlessly ended Tanjiro's life with a single blow, and the anime would have concluded at episode 7. But that didn't happen. Upon seeing Tanjiro's Hanafuda earrings, Muzan was reminded of Yoriichi and hesitated to attack. It's understandable, considering his previous encounter with a sun-breathing user wasn't exactly a pleasant experience. But here's the thing, Muzan is the Demon King for a reason. He can sense a person's strength and power and should have easily recognized that Tanjiro was no threat to him at that moment. He could have dispatched him on the spot, so why didn't he? Well, perhaps the sight of the earrings stunned him and he wasn't thinking clearly. Regardless, this was only the first of 4 errors, so let's give him a break for now. But what about his very next decision only a few moments later? You see, just a few minutes after his encounter with Tanjiro, Muzan ordered 2 demons to go after and eliminate him. One might think this was a brilliant decision on his part, but that's not really the case. There's nothing inherently wrong with sending his subordinates to take care of Tanjiro. The issue is that he sent Susumaru and Yahaba, who are not even part of the 12 Kazuki. So let me get this straight. Muzan fled from Tanjiro because he was frightened, and his master plan was to send 2 weaker demons to dispose of him? This guy's not really that smart. Now, I know what you're thinking. The demon moons were probably too far away at that time, but even if that were true and all the moons were indeed too far away, it still doesn't make any sense because of a tiny detail. Muzan has the option to have them teleported to wherever he desires with the help of Nakime and her Infinity Castle. Just imagine if he had done that and asked Doma or Kakushibo to handle Tanjiro. If he was still apprehensive about Tanjiro's strength, he could even send all the upper moons together to ensure his defeat. Picture all 7 upper moons descending upon Tanjiro simultaneously. The battle would be over in an instant. Okay, Muzan has made some pretty bad decisions so far, but surely he didn't make any worse mistakes than these, right? Wrong. The Demon King actually made 2 more incredibly foolish mistakes. For example, in Season 3, when the Upper Moon Rank 6 demons, Gyutaro and Daki, were fighting the Demon Slayers, they had numerous opportunities to eliminate all of them. Still, they chose to be arrogant and toy with them instead. Now, you might be wondering how this is Muzan's fault. Well, if you believe that Muzan was unaware of what was happening in the entertainment district, you probably missed this small detail in the manga. In chapter 182, it's revealed that the Demon King can see through the eyes of all the demons he's created. This means he should have been able to see that Gyutaro and Daki were fighting Tanjiro, and given how the fight was going, Muzan could have quickly sent reinforcements through the Infinity Castle and finally defeated Tanjiro. But what did he do instead? He merely watched the 2 demons fall to the Demon Slayers and chose to do nothing about it. Muzan's inaction suggests that he either greatly underestimated the Demon Slayers once again, or that he simply didn't want to kill Tanjiro, which would make even less sense moving forward. The last, and arguably the worst mistake the Demon King made, which ultimately led to his demise, occurred during the Infinity Castle arc. At the end of chapter 136 in the manga, Muzan decides to gather his courage and confront the Demon Slayers in person. However, it's precisely here that he makes a crucial and idiotic error. No doubt, Muzan is incredibly powerful, but entering the enemy stronghold alone? That doesn't seem like the best idea, right? And for what reason? Only to insult Kaguya, commenting on how old and ugly he is? Come on, you can do better than that, Muzan. Because of this decision, Muzan was injured by explosives and injected with poison, and as a result, he couldn't face the Hashira right away. Instead, he had to regenerate and wait until all the demon moons were defeated. Now, take a moment to consider this. What if Muzan had actually devised a solid plan and immediately transported all the Hashira into the Infinity Castle? This way, he could have attacked the Demon Slayers alongside all the Demon Moons simultaneously, practically guaranteeing his victory in no time. You'd think that after living for over 1,000 years, Muzan would have accumulated enough experience to avoid a mistake like this, but it seems that experience doesn't necessarily come with age in Muzan's case. Alright, before we delve into what might have happened to the world if Muzan had actually managed to win and defeat all the Demon Slayers, let's examine if the Demon Slayer corpse could have done anything to stop him. Recall the first two opportunities Muzan had to kill Tanjiro. At that time, the Demon Slayer corpse had no knowledge of Tanjiro's connection to Yoruichi, nor were they aware of his special status and sun-breathing abilities. As such, it's only fair that we don't fault the corpse for not protecting him during these moments. However, once they finally discovered his abilities and their significance, why did they think it was a good idea to send him with Tengen to battle Upper Moon demons? Think about it. Aren't there like 6 more Hashira who could have certainly handled the situation more competently than Tanjiro and his friends? Granted, it's true that Tanjiro grew stronger from these fights, but it was still highly risky, and he could have easily been killed. So my question is, why didn't they just keep him safe and send him to train with other Hashira? He would have become much stronger in this manner and would be fully prepared for his confrontations against Upper Moons and Muzan. It turns out that the Demon Slayer corpse isn't all that bright either. Now, let's finally discuss the most crucial topic, Muzan's victory over the Demon Slayer corpse. What would have transpired if the Demon King had actually emerged victorious in the final battle, effectively defeating all the Hashira and Demon Slayers? At this juncture, everyone capable of opposing him would be dead. While some former members who did not partake in the fight, like Tengen, would still be alive, they would be powerless to do anything. After vanquishing the Demon Slayers in the final battle, Muzan would achieve his goal of immortality by consuming Nezuko, allowing him to conquer the sun and become an invincible being. So with his newfound powers and immortality, what would the Great Demon King do next? If you assume that he would annihilate all humans, create an army of demons, and unleash chaos upon the world, you'd be entirely mistaken. There are hints in the anime that indicate what he would do if victorious. Examining Muzan's character throughout the series, he doesn't come across as a villain who revels in meaningless and senseless destruction. He possesses a certain elegance, and mass devastation is not his modus operandi. Let's consider episode 8 when he was in Tokyo and encountered drunk individuals in an alley. Given his formidable power and evil nature, Muzan could have easily slain them on the spot. However, he handled the situation with sophistication, being the first to apologize. When they prevented him from leaving, he again apologized and tried to depart without causing harm. From this, it's evident that Muzan isn't a typical villain interested in spreading chaos and destruction. His primary motivation would likely be world domination, and he would prefer to keep humans alive. He would probably continue to hide his identity as a regular human, as he has done countless times in the anime. Moreover, with no threats remaining, he'd have no reason to share his powers with other demons. Thus, there's a high probability that he would kill the remaining Kazuki and become the sole surviving demon. The remaining members of the corps, Urokadaki and Tengen, would likely attempt to rebuild the organization, recruiting and training new members. However, their efforts would be futile, as Muzan would be, quite literally, unstoppable. His sole weakness was the sun, and with that gone, there would be no means to defeat him. If they ever tried to oppose him, Muzan would effortlessly crush them. In the end, with no one left to challenge him, Muzan would fulfill his desire for immortality and reign over the world as a king for millennia, with no one capable of stopping him. If you like this video, we got more for you. Click here. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.